35 years ago, I started my restaurants mixing ingredients in this little galvanized bucket. Over the years, I've created 4 successful restaurants, 2 international catering companies, and it started with some basic recipes, and I'm going to share the main one today. It's so simple, you're not going to believe it. In order to have really good catfish, you need to have the right cooking equipment, whether it's a thermostatically controlled fryer, which I love to use. These are fairly inexpensive. A big cast iron Dutch oven is great. It's fabulous, and I'm going to use that today. Or even a smaller cast iron skillet. But there are a couple more things that you need to have. You need to have some tongs. Those are very helpful, and maybe a spider like this in order to scoop the fish out of the skillet. Let's talk about the fish itself. The first thing we always want to do is check the freshness of the fish. Make certain it doesn't have a foul or rancid smell to it, and make certain that it looks fresh, that it's not gray or opaque. You want fresh fish. That's the real key to really good fish. After I've checked the freshness of the fish, what I like to do, I like to take my fish and examine the fillet. Always check it for bones. You don't want any of those stragglers. And then if the fish has any fat on it, I'll just take my knife and gently trim it up and clean it up a little bit. Usually don't have to do that too much, but it's a good practice to keep in mind. What I like to do when I have a catfish fillet, because I like mine crispy and I like them to cook rather quickly, after I've checked it, trimmed it up a little bit, I'll cut the fillet rather than cooking it whole there like that, because it takes a little extra long time. I like to cut mine, and I like to make it as even as possible. You'll notice on one side of the fish it's a little thinner, tapered down, and this side's much thicker. So what I'll do is I'll take my knife, I'll start on the thinner side, right there on the other side of that line, and I'll cut to the bigger side. And that way I can equalize or make the fish a little more even. And I like that size of fish. You may like it bigger. Let me know what your preference is. Here's something very important I want to talk to you about, is the kind of oil that you use. There's so many opportunities and so many choices of oil today. Peanut oil is a good choice, vegetable oil, beef tallow if you have it, and even avocado oil. And I'm going to put something in the description below to tell you some of the oils that you can use, but primarily you need a clean oil, keep your oil clean, and then you need an oil with a high smoke point that's not going to burn until it gets up into about 450 to 500 degrees. What's the one secret ingredient that I've used for years, unchanged, it's stood the test of time? Here it is, folks. You're not going to believe this. It's nothing other than white cornmeal. Yep, white cornmeal, nothing else. Nothing added to it, nothing taken away from it, white cornmeal. Now, I do have a little confession that I had used this for 20 years. People loved it. They always ask me, what's your recipe? And I'd tell them, they wouldn't believe me. What I did one time, because of the suggestion of a friend, I just went in and added simple salt and pepper. So that actually helps kick it up a little bit. And you don't need anything else other than this. And I tell you, this not only works on catfish, any fish that you fry, I don't care what it is, this is a fabulous recipe. You don't want all those other ingredients that are going to mask the flavor of the fish. It's time for the breading of the fish, and there's a technique to this that's very important, and let me show it to you real quick. Again, you can use this with other kinds of fish, but what I like to do is I like to have a little, what I call a breading pan. I take my cornmeal and put up what I think I'm gonna need in one side of the pan like that, and then I'll take my salt, put it in there, and I'll taste that real quick just to make, after I mix it up. Tastes like the perfect mixture to me, just the right balance. This has to do with technique, and it's really important. Don't waste your cornmeal. Put what you need on one side of the pan. Take your fillet, put a little cornmeal down there, and you saw this on my fried chicken video. And we're gonna just put it right down in here, throw whatever we need to on it. Now, what about a binder? I don't use a binder on this. I use the natural moisture that's still on the fish. It's all the binder that I need. What we're gonna do is, now that we've breaded our fish thoroughly, I'm gonna take it out of this pan, shake off a little bit of that excess there, lay it over here on a wire rack, and we're just gonna let that stay there for a few minutes, probably 10 or 15 minutes, so that cornmeal will set up on the catfish. It'll help make it just a little crispier. That's a good little trick, nice to know. Don't throw it right into the pan yet and start frying. Take the time, be patient, and do this. You'll be glad that you did. What kind of temperature are we looking for? This is very critical because you don't want to undercook your fish, and you certainly don't want to overcook it. We're at 350 degrees. Now we're going to start dropping the catfish fillets into the oil. And again, there's a technique to this. You don't want to just take all of them and drop them in right on top of one another. because they're going to clump together. Here's the method that I like to use, and it works very well. Carefully drop that fillet in. Don't just drop it in, just kind of ease it in there. And notice how I'm not putting them all in the same spot. I'm going to move them around, let them cook just a second. Very important what I'm showing you right now. Now here's an opportunity to make a good point. Don't get your oil too full, because what will happen once you start putting that fish in there, it'll begin to come over the top of the fryer. You definitely don't want that to happen, especially if you're on the stove like I have. You'll have a terrible grease fire. And it's great to have a fire extinguisher by just in case, because my mother burned the kitchen down when I was in high school because she was cooking fish and the oil got onto the stove. So very important lesson there. Now let the fish cook at least a minute before you move it around, because if you start moving it too early, if you're using a thermostatically controlled fryer and you have it in baskets, don't shake the baskets because it'll knock some of the breading off of the fish, and you don't want that to happen. So this is cooked about a minute, and what I'm going to do is just move it around to make certain none of it's sticking together, which is not perfectly in there cooking. It's really gentle at this point. We're going to let it continue to cook. I'm very comfortable it's done. I'm going to use my little spider over here and reach in here and get some of it out and drain it a little bit. Put it off over into this pan with a piece of paper. I tell you what, this is looking mighty, mighty good. It's not overcooked, not undercooked, it's just right. I'm so excited. There you have it. Nothing I can add to this video today. There's nothing I can take away. I've given you all of my secrets that have worked for 35 years. They're very successful, and you can do it as well. Thanks for watching today. I'm John Woods. Remember, not only love to cook, but cook to love and cook you some fish.